Poverty has many roots, but the taproot is ignorance. Every child must have the best education this nation can provide. The ultimate defense of freedom lies not in weapon systems or in the implements of arms. These we must maintain, but freedom's surest defense and freedom's greatest force is the enlightenment of the minds of all of the people. Arms can never make us invulnerable, but the support that we give to education can make freedom irresistible. Those inspiring words are from President Lyndon B. Johnson, or LBJ for short. This man had an impeccable work ethic, a fierce personality, and a determination that excelled him throughout his career. LBJ used these traits to improve the lives of every American, and this is why I think we should still regard him as a great historical figure whose ideals made him relevant to the 21st century. My name is Kyra Reyes, and this is my Documini on LBJ. LBJ is the eldest child of Sam Ely Johnson Jr. and Rebecca Baines. Rebecca was a teacher who graduated from Baylor University in Waco. Sam was a congressman of the House of Representatives. He served 2 terms and then left for a pioneer life with his wife and first child. After 10 years on the homestead and out of the political eye, Sam went back on the campaign trail and enlisted 10-year-old LBJ as his traveling companion. Once Sam was back in office, he took LBJ with him to Austin as well. This is where Lyndon obtained his enjoyment of politics. Though a son of a politician and expectations heavy on his back, LBJ rebelled in his youth and sought to go his own way. He stayed out drinking and causing chaos, and after graduation moved to California in hopes of making his mark out there. When things didn't pan out, Lyndon went home and was a road worker for minimal wages and dependent on his family. Lyndon's turnaround was a physical altercation that seemed to have knocked him down a peg or two. After that, he enrolled in school at the Southwestern College for Teachers in San Marcos, where he had to work for his tuition. The financial burden was eventually too much. Lyndon took a job teaching poverty-stricken Mexican-American children in Cotulla, Texas. After his year was up, he returned to college with a determination to be somebody and to be able to make real change in the life of others. He began a workhorse ethic that never let up on. Working as his life depended on it, he graduated and then went to work a little over a year as a teacher at Sam Houston High School. During his time at Sam Houston, he was invited to assist in the campaign of future Congressman Richard Clayburgh. Richard saw a tenacity and a ferocity that he liked and took Lyndon with him to Washington as his secretary. This is where LBJ's political career started, and where his knack for getting things done made him the reason why we should never forget him. Lyndon had a long and fruitful career. 2 years as secretary to the Congressman Clayburgh, 2 years as head of the Texas National Youth Administration, where he had the most impact compared to other states. He then went on to serve 12 years in the House of Representatives, where he was a prominent Roosevelt man. He voted on legislation that served FDR's New Deal purpose, but he never quite rocked the boat too hard, for fear of losing his seat and the ability to continue his work. He then served 12 years in the Senate, where he was able to shine as majority leader. Cohesive bipartisanship, he was able to push through quite a bit of legislation. With his powers of coercion and the changing of the times, Lyndon was an integral part of the passage of the first Civil Rights Bill. He was always for helping everyone, and he saw that segregation was keeping the South from an economic growth. He had to take baby steps, though, but he did open the door to progressive bills in the future. During his time in the Senate, LBJ also co-sponsored the bill that formed NASA in response to Russia and their 2 satellites. Next stop was the vice presidency. This is where his legacy as being able to get things accomplished by any means took a screeching halt. The vice president during this time was just there as a backup and had no real power. This didn't stop Lyndon from trying. One success from this time was him being the chairman of NASA. He pushed through the first trip to space. After the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, Lyndon went on to become president, where he took his New Deal ideals and formed them into the Great Society. Under his administration, the most vital legislature for civil rights were passed. and it is recounted that he had a heavy hand in its passing. Though many saw him as a wheeler dealer, a big mouth from Texas, and he was riddled with controversy, the man did do what he put his mind to do. Nobody is perfect, and he had his flaws, but he proved to be the most effective person at getting bills passed, and for that reason alone is why we should always remember him, and at the very least admire his work ethic. Poverty has many roots, but the taproot is ignorance. Every child must have the best education this nation can provide. The ultimate defense of freedom lies not in weapon systems or in the implements of arms. These we must maintain, but freedom's surest defense and freedom's greatest force is the enlightenment of the minds of all of the people. Arms can never make us invulnerable, but the support that we give to education can